First of all, congratulations. This film really hits that sweet spot between tenderness and truth. Tommy, you said your goal wasn't to dramatize Ben's gender identity, but to humanize the person beyond it. Can you talk about building that tone visually and emotionally with Corey?
Yeah, I mean, emotionally, that started from casting, right? It's like I had an idea of what I thought Ben's journey should look like, an arc should look like internally and externally. And then to me, it's all about finding the right actor who unlocks the breadth and depth and complexities of all those things. And Corey had that like innately from the first tape I watched and each callback we did in chemistry read. It was like so clear that there was a depth there that I could no one could put on the page. It's like I could write it as deep as I wanted to, but it requires like the right artist to come in and channel it and make it so present on screen. And I think visually for me, I wanted to live in a little bit of like a saturated naturalism. I wanted to have higher contrast between, the darker moments of the film and the lighter moments of the film, but also in general, living in more sort of close-ups and tighter shots at the beginning of the movie, and then as the movie expands so does our worldview and our perspective.
Mm.
So in moments of like happiness or joy or catharsis, we're seeing a wider scope of the world, and then moments of like tension and fear and anxiety, we're seeing a tighter lens, and we're really just with Ben in these moments, and then ending the film in this like huge drone shot, like probably our largest like cinematic moment of the movie, because I think that's what self-liberation feels like, and
Mm.
emancipation can feel like that, even if it's not totally realistic. But yeah, I did my best to achieve that visually, and I mean, the movie wouldn't exist without Corey's performance. At the end of the day, I'm indebted to Corey forever.
Yeah, you did such a fantastic job in directing and writing the film. But Corey, you blew me away with your performance. Absolutely incredible. Ben's story feels universal, even though in its specificity. What conversations did you and Tommy have about keeping Ben's identity authentic without making it feel like the only thing that defined him?
Yeah, well, I mean, so much of the script is really about Ben's relationships with other people. And so we talked a lot about like what it means to receive love and to give it back, um and then like getting to explore that with everybody on the given days that they were there was just so exciting. But yeah, it was awesome.
Now, Tommy, there's something that you said, and I absolutely love it. You said that the acts of love can either endanger a child or help them flourish. There's a lot of tension in Hannah and Ben's dynamic. Can you talk about making sure that every character was still coming from a place of love, even when things got complicated?
Yeah, I mean, I think that to me is sort of like my own philosophy of life. Like, as much as possible, can I approach it that way? And I think so often queer characters in cinema are treated through a lens of like hatred and trauma and pain. And there's pain here, of course, but I think like most of life, at least for me, and I think for Ben, is mitigating that and escaping that, and trying to like move through that as much as quickly and as much as possible, which doesn't always work, and sometimes the rug gets pulled back out from under you. I think once Hannah has made it clear to Ben that like they are like she's not going anywhere and that this is a space, then you can have freedom for some of that tension and like complexity. And I think both of them are quite traumatized as kids of parents that living in that household and having and being so sort of controlled and monitored all the time, and they dealt with that differently as adults. And I think in the way that like Ben, it takes vulnerability to beget vulnerability, and so it
Mm.
requires Ben to be open for Hannah to be open, and then Hannah to be open a little bit more for Ben to be open. And so a lot of that relationship is just a tete-a-tete between the two of them deciding what feels safe to share or not share. And also I think like Hannah as a character, just had a kid, hasn't seen her sibling in a really long time, is living in a lot of complex like maternal and like anxieties, but also like my entire life is changing and then it's changing again. So I think there's just naturally going to be some tension and friction within that. And both of them are such nuanced, deep performers and actors and artists that just getting to watch them play with each other in these scenes was such a gift to me.
Look, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.